Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Securing Your Business webinar series. If you've been with us before, you know the drill. We would love to hear from you, to know who you are, and to maybe hear about some of the plans you have for reopening your business. If you're joining us live on Zoom, click on the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. Do a little bit of virtual networking. Say hi, share who you are, what business you're with, and as I said, maybe share some of your plans for reopening. We would love to hear them. If you're joining us on Facebook, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let us know what's going on with you. In addition, I'd like to share that we will be taking questions at the end of this presentation. So if you have some, you are welcome to put them in the chat box, in the comments, or if you're on Zoom, on the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. If you are on Zoom and would like to share what you're up to, please be sure that the to field states panelists and attendees so everyone can see what you're up to. With that, Betsy, we are ready to get started. I'd like to introduce our President and CEO, Betsy Gardner-Eckford.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you to our team for helping make this happen today. We are delighted to deliver on our mission promise while we're all still work from home. And our mission, as you may know, is to convene people and ideas for the benefit of our businesses and our community. So we're thrilled to be able to do this virtually across the Zoom platform, and so delighted that you all chose to spend your afternoon with us here today. I think you're in for a treat. So the purpose of this webinar series is to give people tactical equipment to manage some of the unintended consequences of having everybody at home and the impact to the economy, things like that. We're very pleased that we've been able to provide prescriptive pieces of content to help people navigate this, including hearing from elected officials like our Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, our Mayor Leary, and then also helping people think creatively about how to sustain and support their business through this difficult time. So I'm extremely grateful to our team for enabling this content, and I am looking forward to today. So our speaker is Rob Supertino, who's the president of All American Water Restoration Incorporated. He started the company in 2007, and he's been growing his business steadily for 13 years. All American Water Restoration is an EPA registered company for lead abatement, and it's also certified restoration and cleaning firm, so the timing couldn't be better for us to hear from Rob today. He's a certified residential contractor and mold remediation contractor. He has led many large losses and remediation projects in Florida. Please join me in welcoming Rob Supertino.
Hey Betsy, how you doing?
Good, glad to have you with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to go ahead and get started? I'll get started. Here we go. So I think one of the biggest challenges is as we open, what are we going to do? How do we stay open? That's the main focus. I've completed quite a few COVID-19 cleanups. Not really so much here in Orlando and Winter Park. They've been outside of Florida, some ranging to 350,000 square feet every evening. It's been very challenging to have a business try to stay occupied and also deal with the COVID-19 at the same time. I prepared some slides that I think will help you guys in how to do it yourself. This is the most important part. As time goes by, the funds to hire contractors are dwindling very fast. So I'm going to get you started. So steps to secure your business to reopen and stay open. Most important part is to develop the following things: understanding the coronavirus, how it spreads, writing a reoccurring cleaning protocol, your occupancy strategy, how will you clean, what will you clean, what are the certain cleaning solutions that you can use, equipment needed for cleaning methods, and then methods for cleaning. The coronavirus, the way it spreads is very simply, it's person to person between people who are in close contact with each other. Aerosolized droplets can possibly be inhaled into lungs. People are thought to be most contagious when they're most symptomatic, sickest. Some spread of disease might be possible before people show symptoms. That's the scary part, and this is where we've had a lot of facilities that we've had to clean. The folks didn't even know they were sick until they went to drive-through testing and things of that nature. writing a reopen protocol for your staff, I think, is key. How are you going to operate while you're open? I think the biggest thing I've seen in Winter Park is really come to grips on this is how are you going to welcome your guests to the facility? So right now there's a lot of drive-through, there's a lot of pickup, things of that nature. Well, now we're at 25% occupancy. I know that a lot of my friends who own restaurants, they're trying to get people back into their locations, and also business owners who have facilities. It's very important that you understand how you're going to do this to mandate the 25% occupancy. So look at how you're going to do that. You can do reservations only. You can do curbside, as we just talked about, or delivery. And the next thing is how you establish your distancing requirement with staff. This is key. So mark it out. Put in, your 6-foot distances, whether it be seating or your marked out waiting areas. Staff personal protective equipment, I think, is very important. Masks are kind of hard to come by, so you can generate or make your own mask. Gloves, glasses, face shield, anything of that nature to prevent your staff from spreading or causing any type of disturbance within your guests. Your point of sales, your credit cards, cash, PayPal, online ordering, that's something you have to consider. And then sneeze guards at your point of sale if you are going to do a direct point of sale. What should your cleaning protocol consist of? This is very important as well. How will you clean? What will you use? When will you do it? How often will you clean? And how will you let your guests know that it's been disinfected? So surface cleaning and disinfecting is temporary by nature. So if you go in there and you do a stellar clean on day 1, just know as soon as your guests come back in, it will have to be done again. So every time you reintroduce guests, you will have to re-clean. Re-cleaning refers to the removal of dirt and impurities, including many germs from surfaces. Dirty surfaces should be cleaned using a detergent, mechanical scrubbing when required, and warm water washing followed by surface drying before disinfection. I cannot stress how important this is. A lot of folks you see on Facebook and things of that nature, they're fogging. Okay, that doesn't do anything. You can go in there and use 100 gallons of list and EPA approved product until you've actually removed the debris such as dust, oil, and things off the surfaces. That disinfectant will not penetrate and actually remove what you're trying to remove, such as the virus. The cleaning agents that are normally used in these areas, you need to follow the label directions. The other thing I've seen is people that are fogging and then they're wiping right off. There has to be a dwell time. Each product label will tell you what that dwell time is, or what's called contact time. Adhere to that. Most products are between 5 and 10 minutes. There's very few out there that are less than that. It's best to let them sit between 5 and 10 minutes regardless, just to make sure that they're penetrating. Clean surfaces that are frequently touched, such as shared desks, countertops, kitchen areas, electronics, computers, desk phones, tablets, smartphones, and doorknobs. You're going to see this a couple times through my slides because this is the most important factor. Adequate cleaning removes many germs, decreases their number, and reduces the risk of spreading infection. That's the goal. So the cleaning aspect of how you will clean is just imperative. Equipment needed for your cleaning. Once you identify how you're going to clean, it may require the following. Microfiber towels are recommended. And the reason why we recommend microfiber towels is to do not leave lint and little shards left behind. It's just it's a cleaner aspect. Spray bottle with soap and water to actually clean. Then a spray bottle with your disinfecting solution. Have 2 different types. You want to clean and then disinfect. Solution bucket, if you have a larger area to do that or to clean, use a solution bucket, change after every clean, and a rinse bucket. So you're going to use your solution bucket, dip your microfiber towel in the solution bucket, do your cleaning, and then put that in a rinse bucket. You can reuse that same that same wipe, but as long as you rinse it. Once the job is completed, discard those. I've heard of people actually washing these and reusing them. I'm not saying you can't, but I would discard. Fogger if available, and you follow the first steps of cleaning, you can definitely fog your facility, and it's for larger scale, but make sure that, once again, you're following the clean aspect. Most of the products that you're going to use are going to create an odor. It's going to be the Decon 30 that we're currently using. It's hard to find right now. I happen to have quite a bit of it, but it is very powerful. So depending on if you're going to fog or even surface wipe, there will be a emanating odor that can be very pungent to your guests. So HEPA scrubbing with a charcoal filter will minimize that odor. We did around 1,500 square foot office not too long ago, and I think it took about 15 minutes to really bring that odor down using an air scrubber with a charcoal filter. Gloves, face shield, and goggles, very important, and the respirators. So respirators are hard to come by, as you know. So respirators, if you're covering something with your face, I've seen respirators with 3 or 4 different coffee filters in there, anything that people can make at this point. I cannot recommend how to make your own filter, but if you have to, it's better than nothing. What will you clean? So determine what you will clean as reference to your facility function. So a restaurant will be clean different than an office building, a retail shop, or a gas station, financial institution, or medical facilities. Locate your high touch points. As I mentioned, you're going to hear this a lot. Your doorknobs, your bathrooms, your chairs, tables, entry, exit doors, door frames. A lot of people like to put their hands on door frames. Desks, computers and accessories, magazines, vending machines, etc. All these things need to be wiped down if they're being touched. After you identify or develop a plan to disinfect the entire store or building, after you close, develop something that you're going to do as your final clean to reopen for the following day. This can be done with a fogging solution. This can be done with multiple people being in the place so you can actually clean effectively. Here's a trick. Minimize your items that you're displaying for your guests. Don't have magazines out. If somebody wants to come in and read a magazine, unfortunately, you will not have it. Minimize what's on the counters, pens, things of that nature. If you have guests that are going to be coming and they've set an appointment, tell them to bring their own pens. It's just easier if you can control some of these items. Cleaning products per the EPA list and disclaimer, first of all, while surface disinfectant products on list N have not been tested specifically against COVID-2, the cause of COVID-19, EPA expects them to kill the virus because they demonstrate efficiency, against another type of human coronavirus. All surface disinfectants on list N can be used to kill viruses on surfaces such as counters and doorknobs. Because SARS-CoV-2 is a new virus, the pathogen is not readily available for use in commercial laboratory testing to see if a certain disinfectant product is effective at killing the virus. Here's the most important part. Let it do its dwell time. If you're in doubt, give it another 2-3 minutes. Just let it dwell. It's very, very important. Here are some of the samples that you can get here locally in this area. Sodium hypochlorite, bleach, basically is all it is. I have a pool, so I went to a certain pool store on Aloma next to the Publix. I won't mention the name, but they have 14,000 gallons readily available of sodium hypochlorite. Be gentle in asking. They told me to only give it to certain people, but if you're a business owner, I've heard giving it out to business owners. Good source where you can reach or you can get sodium hypochlorite. Hydrogen peroxide, quaternary ammonium, hypochlorous acid, citric acid, and thymol. We use thymol. Thymol is a plant-based product. Most of my clients do not want chemicals in their facilities, so thymol is good. But look at the dwell or contact time. The bleach is 5 minutes. Hydrogen peroxide 10. As you can see, most of them are 10 to 5 minutes. So once again, give it that dwell time, or else you'll be doing yourself an injustice. Here is a huge thing. So how do we wipe things off? When you have staff that are going to be doing this, this is a great, great little piece right here. Take your wipe, fold it in half again. And then at that point in time, you wipe in one direction, starting from the cleanest point. Why do you do that? Because you don't want to smear stuff around. And not just virus cleanup, but also mold remediation, lead abatement. We have to follow this protocol. So once again, you fold it once, you fold it again, and then you're able to reopen that in different sides. It's called a four-fold method. You're able to get more out of the cleaning cloth than just balling it up and creating circular motion. So you want to wipe in one direction, very important. Post-cleaning verification. We've had to do this in about 50% of the facilities we've cleaned. There's a couple things. Number one, what does that mean? It means that I did my job right. So there's not a lot of accessory to these type or accessibility to these tests. Most people are using the ATP method. The microbiology testing is going to take 3 to 4 days to get it back, or if you want to spend a lot of money, it's going to take 24 hours. ATP is something you can do right then and there. It's in the food service industry. They will come through, they will check the bacteria level on the surface. I'm not going to go and bore you about the details behind it, but it's a great way. They swab it, they put it in their little machine. It tells you whether the surface is clean or it's not. How to hire a cleaning contractor. This is important. I've seen all kinds of people on Facebook, especially in the start of this, that were not wearing proper PPE. They were fogging, didn't wipe anything down. I think the overall fear of getting it really cost people a lot of money. So ensure the contractor is skilled in coronavirus cleaning methods. This is so important. We were retained by a client in California to clean 500,000 square feet a night. And it was very challenging. This was a 24/7 location. They had people staffed there at all times. It was not easy to deal with the actual client staff who really felt very imposed. But we had to come up with a methodology that not just sufficed on the cleaning aspect, but also the staffing. So making sure that you hire somebody that's skilled in coronavirus cleanup is very, very important. You have to make sure this company has coronavirus liability coverage. A lot of policies do not have that. It is not cheap, it's expensive. It falls under a pollution policy that a contractor must buy. Most mold remediation contractors have a pollution policy. I'm now seeing that you have to buy a rider to cover coronavirus. That's not cheap. So most contractors that are doing this on a steady basis, they are buying this rider. It costs anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 depending on the size of your staff. Is the staff actually trained to do this kind of stuff? And what I mean by that is not just they know how to clean and do a 4-fold wipe. Are they HAZWOPER certified? Are they RIC certified? Are they OSHA safety certified? These are all things that you want to check with your contractor before you hire. Do they have the proper personal protective equipment? This is crucial. If somebody gets or contracts coronavirus on your facility, they can come back and sue you. So that's like the biggest craze right now is who costs. So make sure that you are checking all their paperwork, making sure you're checking all their PPE. We're wearing between a half face and a full face respirator, depending on level 1, 2, or 2 or 3 cleans. Level 1 being proactive, number 2 is being suspect, and number 3 being confirmed case. They have to meet or exceed your cleaning protocol. So the protocol should come from you, as we mentioned in the beginning. Your protocol should list what you want done. Now, as a contractor, I would come in and actually explain, okay, that's a great idea. What if we added this? And that's very important. Has a detailed estimate to present. A lot of people are saying, okay, I'm gonna do it for $4 a square foot. Okay, that's outrageous, it's ridiculous. The average cost right now should be between 15 cents to 35 cents on a high mark between level and 2. Level 3, depending on your facility, can range between $1 to $1.50 a square foot. And that includes a lot more stuff. It includes air scrubbing in almost every room. It includes HEPA vacuuming, steam cleaning your floors. It's just very important because we're doing it from top down, 10-foot level if possible, if not 8-foot level down. In a confirmed case, if they're willing to use a third-party testing facility, we never test our own stuff. We have EMC that we work with. They come behind us and they tell us whether we did our job right or wrong. This is so important. You should never let a contractor test himself out of the job. You should always have a third-party vendor come in that will do this. Does my insurance cover coronavirus? So in the beginning, we did not find anybody that had it. Now we're starting to see certain clients dig into their policies, and they're finding that they have pollution insurance. Pollution insurance, just like my insurance for COVID-19 and for mold remediation, we're finding some that cover viruses. We are getting ready to clean roughly 5 buildings between 150,000 square feet to 250,000 square feet. These are all residential complexes, and they have coverage. Each property has $1 million in virus coverage. So under the pollution insurance. The contractor that you hire, if you go this route, has to be versed in insurance estimating software. So we use Xactimate, which is the #1 estimating software. It's very important. The line items are not created for coronavirus cleanup. You have to use hazmat cleaning and certain things. So they just have to be versed in how to write the actual estimate for the insurance company. That is my presentation. I'll try to go as speedily as possible. I know you got some other things going on. Betsy and staff, I really do appreciate you guys. I'm open for questions if you guys have anything. And hopefully this helped you guys out. Please, please be safe and be strong.
Rob, thank you so much for, Amy, if you could put my video back on, I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for your presentation. And it's clear that not all contractors are created equal in this situation. I really appreciate the level of professionalism that you've brought to this conversation as someone who's in charge of a building herself. I was curious to hear what you have to say, and I feel that you've been a tremendous help to me and hopefully to other people. We do have people watching on Facebook, and we've got participants. I'm going to hand it over to Amy to moderate some questions if we've got those at this time.
Sorry about that. For those watching live, this is your chance to ask Rob a question. If you're watching on Zoom, you're welcome to type your questions in the chat box feature. You can also put them in the Q&A icon on the bottom of your screen, or you can choose to raise your hand through Zoom by clicking the raise hand icon, and we'll go ahead and unmute you so you can ask Rob a specific question. If you are watching on Facebook, you can drop your question in the comments, and Tiffany Cahill will be monitoring that for questions. So far, I have not received any. Let's give it another moment or two to see if any come through. Rob, that was very detailed and, as Betsy mentioned, helpful presentation, so thank you so much.
Quite welcome. And Betsy, understand that I will be willing to work with any Winter Park chamber member or non-chamber member. If they have a facility in Winter Park, let me know. I'll gladly come out, try to develop a plan with them, no charge. As I was telling Amy, I just want to get back to normal. If I don't get a chance to go to downtown again and be able to do some shopping or just have fun, I mean, it's killing me.
We've got you covered for this weekend. Park Avenue is going to be closed to vehicular traffic, and we're hoping everybody's going to adhere to the guidelines of staying 6 feet apart, but we're looking forward to supporting our businesses this weekend. And I want to say how grateful I am that you gave us a guideline on what the right price is, because this is something we've never been through before. And I think it's really helpful for our listeners to hear what an appropriate pricing structure is going to be for this type of service. I do know we have a question that's come in. I'm going to hand it over to Amy.
Okay, Rob, we have a question for you. It comes from Ben. He says, thank you for the presentation, first off. And then, do you have any thoughts on UVC ozone bulbs?
So a lot of discussion about that. So ozone itself is great. So hydroxyl machines, ozone generators are all great. The problem with ozone generation is that it's not the best thing for human consumption. As ozone is producing O3, it is killing, let me backtrack, it's deactivating the virus shell. So without the shell, it cannot live. And trust me, we've looked at every resource to try to help people out in the least or best cost-effective nature. We are ozoning different facilities that are not being staffed right now as a lower cost-effective way of doing it. Just be careful. Tread on the area of caution. I like the ozone machines. I've used them in the past quite a bit in different type of engagements. But most importantly is just, if you are going to use ozone, make sure that you let it actually breathe, or to let the facility kind of either flush or something of that nature prior to bringing people back in. It's not good for human consumption.
Thank you so much, Rob, for answering that question. And it looks like you have addressed the audience questions for today. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Anything at all, let me know, please.
Rob, thank you again. we've got information, and you can continue to update people on your services in our daily briefing, which we hope your team is taking advantage of. And we are grateful to you for your time and expertise today. Tomorrow on this session, we will be hearing from the city manager, Randy Knight, and the assistant city manager, Michelle Nooner, who are going to be taking questions and giving us an overview on restarting Winter Park, what that looks like, questions for city officials. And then on Thursday, we'll be hearing reopening post-COVID as it relates to healthcare, guidance for seeking care for non-COVID related health issues. That's going to be with Melissa Marshall, who's the Director of Emergency Services at Advent Health, and Dr. Mitch Malfair, who is the Medical Director at Advent Health Winter Park. So we're looking forward to continuing this series through this week, and we are grateful for our presenters. If you're not following us on social media, we'd love for you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we'd love for you to receive our daily newsletter at winterpark.org. We hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you for your time and engagement today. And again, many thanks to my team. We wish you all a pleasant afternoon, and thank you again for joining us today.